Hi everyone, welcome to the Positively Knitting Podcast. My name is Nicole, and it is always wonderful for me to be able to sit down and put my feet up and talk to you guys about what I have been knitting, crocheting, sewing, embroidering, painting, or just crafting on. So let's get into the show. If you are not aware, we have a Positively Knitting podcast group over on Ravelry. If you're not a member, feel free to go ahead and join. You don't have to post anything. You can lurk, but if you just want to know what I've been up to, I do sometimes post about the things that I am passionate about that week over in the group. Also, over in the Positively Knitting podcast group on Ravelry, we are having a giveaway. And the giveaway is for a skein of yarn that was gifted to the podcast by Jennifer of Daisy Knits Yarn. So if you guys want to win a skein of Daisy Knits Yarn, go over and read the rules and regulations and participate in the what would you knit with this yarn. So thank you to Jennifer of the Daisy Knits Yarn. The contest ends at the end of May, and I will draw for a winner, and I will announce the winner at the beginning of June. Okay? Yeah. There you go. I got that out the way. So speaking of Daisy Knits Yarn, I'm going to show you guys what I've been knitting on with the Daisy Knits Yarn. With my Daisy Knits Yarn, I am knitting a shrug. This shrug is called the Sherry Shrug. It is by Pearl Alpaca Designs, and it is available for, I can't remember if I paid $3 or $6 for it, but it's available on Ravelry. I will link to it in the show notes. The Sherry Shrug calls for a size 6 and 11 needles, and those are U.S. sizes. To make the Sherry Shrug, you need to know how to knit, to purl, to yarn over, to increase, which is a lot of the times in this pattern it's yarn over. And there's also a make one. You need to know how to decrease, to knit two together, to slip one, knit two together, and to pass the slip stitch over, which it really is not that difficult. My only recommendation, the only thing I have to say about this pattern is that it's not for a beginner, because you have to do more than one thing at the same time in the beginning. So if you can do lace and increase, or if you think you're ready to do just a little bit of lace and increase at the same time, then you should attempt the shawl. I enjoy knitting it because it is just one row of lace. That is it, over and over again. Well, it's not over. Every other row is that same one row over and over again. I started this shawl in March, the 22nd. I started on the 22nd of March, and it's May. It's the 6th of May, and I'm still working on this shawl. I really thought that I would have been, not shawl, I have shawl on the brains, but I'll get to that later. I really thought that I would be done with this shrug by this time. But life gets in the way. And I said in a couple of episodes ago that, people were talking about, does your life affect your knitting, or does your knitting affect your life? And my life really takes precedence or affects my knitting. So if I'm super busy in my life, my knitting suffers. Which is okay, because that is the beautiful thing about knitting. I always say that your knitting will be there for you when you are ready to be there for it. So yes, so my life is busy, but I am still making progress on this shrug. I swear, shawl on this shrug. So that's how far I've gone. It's probably to the middle of my back. So I'm at the halfway point, and I need to just work my way back down, which is the same thing over and over again. So I am making mine out of, where's the yarn? Here it is. I am making mine out of the Daisy Knits yarn, and this is the petal base. It's 50% fine alpaca and 30% merino and 20% silk. I did not know that. This is super duper duper soft yarn. I paid $25 for this yarn. I got 540 yards, which I think is a wonderful value for your money. Even though this is a hand dyed yarn, a lot of time, not a lot, there are sometimes in certain yarns, especially hand dyed yarns, you find spots from the dyeing process. There are no spots in this yarn whatsoever. It is evenly dyed, even though it's variegated. I love the stitch definition. I love the drape. I am very happy with this yarn, and this is really an example of the right yarn with the right project. I can't wait. Hopefully I'll get this done by the end of the summer when it starts to cool down, so I'll be able to throw this over my tank tops and wear it with some jeans, because that'll be super duper cute. One more thing I want to tell you guys is that I modify the cast on because I used for the size small, and I increased until I got to the extra small, so this won't be so big, because a lot of times, even in clothing, I am in between the small and the extra small. So that's the Sherry Shrug, and I am keeping it in my Knitting's My bag, donut bag. I love it, love it, love it. I love her bags. I have 540, well now, yeah, because it's knitted up, 540 yards of yarn in here. This is the medium size bag. And I also have my Stitch Pray Love lotion bar in here. And I also have like a mini skein of yarn that I started on a sock that I was making for my son's teacher, which is not going to get done because I just don't have time. And I have scissors. I have all kind of stuff in here, and I still have room probably for another project in this bag. So I love my Knitting's My bags. I cannot say enough good things about them. So yep. Oh, and did I say I was making this in size 6 and 11? I am. I am now on the size 11 for the lace section, and it's super duper duper fun. So I told you guys about that. I can put that away. In this bag, this is where the shawl is coming in, okay? In this bag, well, this bag used to hold a crochet blanket that I was making for Lois's daughter, Hillary, who was getting married on the 25th of May. I finished that blanket, and I took pictures of it, and I will put pictures in once at the end. Well, no, not at the end of the month. Probably at the beginning of the June. Well, in one of June's episodes, because I don't want her to see it. It's a surprise. She's seen most of it, but I still would like for her and her husband to be able to open the blanket together and just to see the finished project together, because it really is a blanket for the both of them and not just Hillary. I'm saying it, I'm laughing to myself because I know me. And if I got a blanket for me and Stu, it would be my blanket. So I know. But I just thought that it would be a good thing for her and her husband to do together, because the blanket is a wedding present for her, she and Matt. So that's done. It's packed away. I need to mail it as soon as I get the address of where to mail it from her mother or herself. So that's done, right? Since this bag, I love, love, love this bag, okay? Since this bag was free and it was empty, it needed a project. And of course, why not cast on something new? At least I thought I was going to cast on something new. I have aspirations of doing the Dinner at the Eiffel Tower shawl, okay? This is why I have a shawl on the brain. I wanted to start this as a part of the Multi-Craftual podcast, Knit Along. The Multi-Craftual podcast have two hostesses with the mostesses, Libby and Jess Dodd. Jessie. Libby and Jessie. And Jessie has a couple of designs available for purchase on Ravelry. So I own 2 of her shawl patterns. So they're having a Jessie knit along, which is good, right? And since I own 2 patterns, I'm like, I am so in. They gave you 2 months to do it. That's my type of knit along. So it started at the beginning of April. It ends at the end of May. I knew that I wouldn't be able to do it in April because I really wanted to concentrate on getting the crochet blanket done for Hillary. So I got that done, and now May is here. My needles are free. I am able to cast on for the Dinner at the Eiffel Tower shawl. Yes, that's out of the 2 that I own, I picked the Dinner at the Eiffel Tower. I have heard from friends that this is a very fun knit, which makes me very excited about it. I've read through the pattern a couple of times, and it looks easy enough. to be able to do when I am at the very end of the school year, which this end of the school year is going to be crazy for me. I have 5 projects that are due. I think I've done 2. Jason graduates. So I have to get him ready to graduate. We already went and registered him for high school. Woo, high school. I'm excited because that just means, another 4 years and I'm free from him. Anyways, I'm just playing. But so with all that going on and much more, I was looking to see if this was a good shawl to knit and could I get it done in a month. I am so excited about this. I really want to challenge myself to get it done in a week. And I wanted to get it done during this time when my husband is going on vacation. So I printed out the pattern and not vacation, he's working. It's more like I'm having a vacation. So I printed out the pattern and I went into my stash to find a skein of yarn to use. I have a lot of yarn. Okay, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. It just is what it is. Not a crazy lot, but I have a. Let me qualify it by saying not a crazy lot. I have a nice amount of yarn. However, this is the year for me of stash round, and I have a lot, especially fingering weight yarn, variegated. I don't have a lot of solid fingering weight yarn. So any yarn that's going to come into my stash is going to help me round it out, or either I'm going to pull from it and use it. So whenever I can pull from stash, I want to do it. I thought that I should go and pull from stash for this shawl. So I went in my stash. The shawl costs for 450 yards of a DK weight yarn. I have over 450 yards of DK weight yarn. However, no 2 skeins are alike. And I do have solid colors, but I just did not want to use. I have some Barocco vintage DK that I did not want to use. They are not the same colors. So I just didn't feel like it's spring, and I just have to feel like knitting with a certain color. I didn't feel like knitting with the colors that I have. I have Mad Tosh DK, but the colors, no. I didn't have 2 skeins, so the colors didn't go. And I was looking through my stash, so instead of fingering, the shawl would have been too little. DK, the shawl would probably be just right. I like my shawls big. So I went over to the worsted weight stash, and I pulled out this skein of beautiful yarn. This is from the Village Spinning and Weaving Shop, and it is their hot foot. I guess their hot foot base, and it's approximately 1,120 yards per pound. Okay, I have just a little over half a pound. So I have enough yarn, and it's so squishy, and it's beautiful, and it's pretty, and I did not wind it, right? I did not wind it because I was waiting for my husband to leave, and I'm going to cast it on this week, but I didn't wind it because I spent yesterday, the first day that he was completely gone, setting up a website for his new business. So last night he called, and he was at a yarn shop looking for yarn. Here's the thing. I really wanted to do this dinner at the Eiffel Tower in a solid color. So I asked my husband to pick me up about 500 yards of a solid color DK weight. And he sent me the picture of the yarn. He got it. I'm excited about it. So this yarn is coming out of this bag. And when he comes home Thursday night, I'll put the new yarn in. And I'll start Friday morning. And hopefully I'll be able to finish before the end of the month. I hope so. I hope so. So I'm really excited about starting that shawl. Okay. Now, as far as crocheting goes, I have been crocheting. I had a friend who had a birthday. She's a singer. And she had a birthday party at an Italian restaurant in the next city over. And my husband and I went. And what do you make for someone who you're casual friends with? We're not like the bestest of friends, but we see each other, we speak, we're friendly, right? So what I did was I went and got a handkerchief. I had handkerchiefs from Christmas because they were on sale, so I bought handkerchiefs. And I made my mother-in-law handkerchiefs for Christmas, and I thought that was like the best present ever. So I bought three extra when they were on sale just in case, right? So I went and pulled out one of those handkerchiefs, and I crocheted an edging around them, and I also embroidered a little bird on it. With my husband said, make music notes come out the bird's mouth because the bird, she's a singer. So I gave her an embroidered handkerchief, a crocheted and embroidered handkerchief, and then we went to See's Candy, and I just got her like a little. Right now, since it's spring, they have the cutest little pink boxes with candies in them. So I went and got her. My husband and I went and got her some candy in the box, and we wrapped the present, and she loved it. It was a really big hit. I really sometimes underestimate how people who are not knitters, or now not even my family members, appreciate hand knitting, and it was really a good gift. So just in case you guys are looking for a good present to give anyone, for a birthday present, a good teacher's present for your kids' favorite teachers, especially since it's the end of the year, a hand knit handkerchief. You can buy the handkerchiefs from Joann's. I even looked online; they have them at Walmart. I use here. I'll grab this one because I was going to use this, thinking about using this, but this read too much like Christmas, which I can't wait to make one for Christmas. But I use just is it Bernat, or the Aunt Lydia's crochet cotton. Here's another one because I have to make a friend. Seeing this has fuzz on it. It's probably alpaca hair, but I'm going to make another friend a handkerchief, but this one is going to be black and white, and I'm going to put hearts on it because I love this friend to death. So that is just a good gift. So I had been crocheting, right? But the embroidery was, I don't want to say super new, but it's new enough. I have been itching to do some more stitching, stitching with my hand. And I don't know if I was in Joann. I was in Joann's, but I don't know if I was embroidering before I saw this magazine, or this magazine caught my eye. But I saw this magazine, and it was over for everything for a minute except for embroidery. This Hoopla magazine has so many cute projects. And the beautiful thing is that you see the fabric behind here, right? For all you multi-craftual, see how I type that in? Multi-craftual people, you can totally tie in your fabric stash. So this is a good way to use up little tiny bits from your fabric stash. You can embroider on top of it. So I found a couple of projects that I love. I do. These tablecloths, not tablecloths, these placemats. These would be perfect for my mother-in-law for her birthday. Her birthday's coming up, so I'm probably gonna have to make her these. And there's just so many things. There are techniques. So I purchased this, right? And then I got my hoops. I have thread, and it's been crazy. So because I don't want to give my mother-in-law too much of the same things. Well, she used to embroider like crazy. Crazy. So I thought that I would give her embroidery for her birthday or Mother's Day. The crazy thing is that my mother-in-law and my mother shared the same birthday, which is in May. And May is also the month of Mother's Day. So this is going to get ugly. The good thing is that my mother doesn't like, well, she likes them, but I don't give my mother handmade items. She prefers that I buy her stuff. I prefer to buy her stuff. That's one less person I have to make for. So the only person that I have to figure out what to make handmade for, so I thought before I realized that everybody's birthday is in May, is my mother-in-law. So I started her I went on Etsy, I found a pattern, and I started her, it's just some embroidery. Okay, don't judge me. This is my first time at doing embroidery. I didn't know how to transfer embroidery onto the fabric. There are plenty of ways. I went on YouTube and I did an exhaustive search on the ways to transfer embroidery. The one that I like the best is printing this out on water-soluble paper, or is it webbing? Water soluble paper or backing, and then you attach it to you just rub it on. So you attach it to your fabric, and then you embroider through it, and then once you're done, you cut away the excess and you just dip it in water, and it just disappears like magic. So it's good. So that's what I'm using for this. And because if like I spill anything on it, like if I had it next to the sink when I was doing dishes and water got splashed on it, and I know this looks haggard, but once I I'm like, it does look haggard. Once I put it in the water and press it around it, it'll look fine. So this is what I'm making for her. And I'm going to put this in either a shadow box or just a regular picture frame, because that's how she has her embroidery displayed in her home. And these browns and tans are a lot of the colors in her home. So this is really practical. I've learned a lot. These are all French knots. My back stitches are not cool. But I'm learning. These are lazy daisy stitches. See, there you go. So I am really, really learning a lot. Here's some cross stitches down here. I'm not going to do the butterfly. I don't like it, but I am going to finish the plants, and I'm going to back stitch across or whatever. I'm going to stitch across the bottom. And this will be done hopefully before the end of May, because that's her birthday. It definitely will. So I've done that. Then I went on Etsy looking for all kind of stuff, just because I like to peruse Etsy and see what's going on. And I also was looking for embroidery patterns, and I think I got this pattern from Etsy. I think I did. Yeah. But there are plenty of patterns in here that I could totally, this will get made. So that's probably for her. No, this is probably going to be for Mother's Day, which is this week, because I can finish it. Mother's Day. So yeah, Mother's Day. And then I will make her two of the placemats for her birthday, one because it's just she and her husband. So when I was looking on Etsy for something to embroider a pattern, that's where I found that. I found a lot of cute embroidery patterns on Etsy. And also, if you guys want free embroidery patterns, Pinterest and Google. And you can totally embroider doodles. Like my son is all about doodling, and it is my aspiration one day to embroider some of his doodle and put it like in a quote or something. So when I was on Etsy looking around, I saw all kind of words and stuff, just regular words and hoops, and people were charging $20, $30 for it, right? So my husband this week, he was saying what we say it all the time. We were saying the struggle is real. The struggle is real. That's what we say, you know, when something goes bad, like, oh, the struggles are real, right? So what I did was I went to a site. It's a photo editing site, and it's called PicMonkey. PICMONKEY. I love this site. I love it to death. And I don't pay for a lot of sites, but I do pay money to have the advanced membership on PicMonkey, especially now with the business, because it is invaluable. So if you're super into editing photos, look at PicMonkey. But I went on PicMonkey and I found a font that's called Homestead. You may be able to find the font for free and download it. I found it on PicMonkey. Since I paid for it, it was already free. So I printed out the words in that, and I'm just cross-stitching over the words. And what I'm going to end up doing is, depending on where I hang this, I am going to paint the frame and put just maybe a little webbing on it, or wadding as they call it in England, on the back, and it's just so it could be a little substantial, and hang it somewhere, because I like it. So yeah, I'm now cross-stitching the struggle is real, because the struggle is real. The next thing I want to cross-stitch after I'm done with the struggle is real, it's the positive reminder of the day, and that is that happiness is homemade. And happiness is homemade. It's true. It's like this thing that's been going around on the web. I've been seeing it a lot of places, and lately the last place I saw, which was last night, which I was like, oh, this is totally the positive reminder of the week, not even the day, was on a cooking site. So happiness is homemade, and it's true. Not just homemade, it just starts within you. Make sure that you carry your happy with you, okay? So that's all that I have to talk to you guys about for now. I hope to be back as soon as I can, hopefully next weekend. But until then, I hope you guys have a wonderful week of knitting, crocheting, sewing, embroidering, quilting, all that. Whatever makes your heart happy. And I hope that you guys will join me next time here in my home where I'll be positively knitting. Bye.